As you guys know, there have been 50 ships that are part of the Freedom Flotilla that set sail to Gaza to deliver humanitarian aid. Well, Israel has been striking them using drone attacks. They have been targeted multiple times as they get closer and closer to Gaza. What does this have to do with Italy and Spain? Let's start with Italy. Italy has decided to intervene, and so has Spain. They are sending warships to apparently help the Freedom Flotilla. Guys, I'm telling you, Israel has bit off more than it can chew. Let's get into it.
Italy and Spain are sending warships to assist the international aid flotilla trying to take aid to Gaza after it came under drone attack. The global Samud flotilla is using about 50 civilian boats to try and break Israel's naval blockade of Gaza. Many lawyers and activists, including Swedish climate campaigner Greta Thunberg, are on board. An Italian frigate was sent on Wednesday, hours after the global Samud flotilla said it was targeted by drones in international waters off Greece. The flotilla blamed Israel for the attack, in which the drones dropped stun grenades and itching powder. No one was hurt.
Y que se respete el derecho de nuestros ciudadanos.
Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said on Wednesday Spain would be sending a warship in case the Spanish nationals and the others aboard needed assissance or rescue.
Well, we are stressed a little bit.
A Spanish lawmaker, Juan Bordera, is on board the flotilla.
I have to pause this part here and then come back in because they show the strike, which we can't show on here. But he is one of the ones that is on board. So let's come back in at this point here.
Yeah, it has been a crazy nightmare yesterday.
The Israeli Foreign Ministry did not respond directly to accusations it sent the drones. It repeated an invitation for the flotilla to drop humanitarian aid at an Israeli port, leaving it to Israeli authorities to take it to Gaza. Israel has accused the flotilla activists of complicity with the Hamas militant group. Italian Defense Minister Guido Crosetto said on Thursday Italy couldn't guarantee the safety of Italian citizens in other countries' territorial waters.
All right, let's go ahead and pop out here for just a second. So Italy and Spain's position are a little bit different. I do want to show that to you. From what I understand, Italy is trying to encourage the Freedom Flotilla to give the humanitarian aid to them. Meanwhile, Spain has a more bold approach, and Spain has also done something else, which also is breaking news in regards to Israel. So Italy, let's show you this. This is what they're trying to do. Italy urges Gaza flotilla to hand over aid after drone attack. So this is what I think, some people got excited because they said, oh, Italy's going to intervene. But it sounds like to me, Italy is trying to get them to hand over that aid, not help them continue the journey. We'll get into this a little bit here from this article from Reuters. It said Italy urged the international flotilla to hand over its aid supplies for Gaza on Wednesday and allow them to be distributed by the local Catholic Church as a way to ward off further risk after the flotilla was attacked by drones overnight. Well, I mean, we all know Israel doesn't respect the Catholic Church either. So Israel just attacked a Christian church not too long ago. I think that was like maybe 2 months ago. We talked about that on the show. That was one of the things that I know really upset Marjorie Taylor Greene. She said they're attacking Christians too. Yeah, so I don't know what that would do. But the global flotilla is using 50 civilian boats to try to break Israel's naval blockade of Gaza. Many lawyers, activists, including Swedish climate campaigner Greta Thunberg, are also on board. Now, Italy sent a Navy ship to the flotilla's assistance after the vessels were attacked by 12 drones in international waters, 30 nautical miles off the Greek island of Gados. All passengers were safe after drone exploded over their vessels. Goes on to say here, the Italian Prime Minister said Rome's proposal was to hand over the aid in Cyprus to the Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem, which would then deliver it, right? So Here's what Meloni, who's the prime minister of Italy, said. It is a proposal that seems to have the support of the Cypriot government, the Israeli government, and of course, the Italian government. We are awaiting a response from the flotilla. So he is urging them to just hand over that aid. Now, that Italian Navy ship apparently has already been mobilized. So we'll get to Spain in just a second, but I just want to say something. It was just a couple of days ago, we talked about the fact that workers in Italy had a general strike for Gaza. They even shut down the docks, which is essential when we're talking about supply distribution. So I said that's something that we should look at. And I said before, there are ways to fight back and to do so in a nonviolent way. And one of those ways is economically. That's why I support boycott, divest, and sanction Israel, because that's really where you really want to disrupt what Israel's doing. We got to hit them in the pocket. And that's what I've been trying to explain to people for quite some time. So I think that we could look at what Italy has done and maybe, leverage that here in the United States as well. That's one of the things that can be done. Now, I want to show you this one here. This was on Democracy Now! As well. Again, talking about Italy and Spain sending those naval ships.
The messages we have to Palestinians in Gaza are many. First, that I'm absolutely disgusted and appalled to live in a world where our people in power every day are betraying Palestinians, and how there are so many people who can seemingly just accept the extreme injustice and the mass slaughtering of people without doing anything. So for that, I am heartbroken, and this is not about me or my feelings at all, but I'm heartbroken to live in that world. What is happening now, for example, in Gaza City should not come as a surprise, because Israel have been very clear from the beginning that this is their intent. They have genocidal intent, that they want to take over the Gaza Strip, which is such a serious war crime. And the world has not listened. Right now, people are more and more waking up, but at what cost? What is happening is, of course, an attack on Palestinians, the Palestinian identity, and the Palestinian nation, and all the countless of people whose suffering is being reduced to numbers and UN resolutions. This is also an attack on humanity, on international law, on every sense of humanity we have left. And that is a huge, huge risk. Of course.
Yeah, so that's Greta Thunberg there speaking. And I know people have, some people find Greta annoying at times. But again, like I said, this isn't something that she has to do. If she wanted to, she could kind of just, fade into the background, write a couple of books, make a lot of money, and just keep it moving. But she is willing to get out there and to fight in some way, shape, or form. So I think this is something that's important to be said. I have to tell you guys, it is very disturbing how some people in the world are just turning the blind eye like this isn't even happening. But I think that this response from Italy and Spain really does say something. Now, I have to be honest with you. Out of all the countries, I did not expect Italy and Spain to act. I just didn't, So I'm still kind of surprised by that. But these are countries that are allies of the United States, and they are pushing back against Israel. And that doesn't look good for the U.S. Now, I'm telling you this because I did see that earlier today, Donald Trump said that he met with Arab leaders, and he said that they have outlined, I think it's a 21 point or 12-point plan. I think it's 21-point plan to bring this to an end. Now, I don't get excited about that, because the reality is Israel is going to do whatever it wants to do. It doesn't matter if Donald Trump has reached some type of agreement with the Arab leaders. Israel doesn't care. They'll do whatever they want. Now, what is interesting, though, is that one of the statements that Donald Trump made is that Israel will not be allowed to annex the West Bank. Apparently, that was an agreement that he made among the Arab leaders. But like I said, Israel will do what it wants. And as long as we keep giving them weapons, that's basically just like telling them do whatever you want anyway. right? So there's what is said and then there's what is done, right? So we have to look at the actions. I think that that's very important. But Spain is doing the damn thing because they decided to take a position in another way. Spain's prime minister says he will send warship to protect Gaza aid flotilla. Yes, so we talked about that, but also this. Spain approves total arms embargo in Israel. Let's give it up. Total, not 1%, not the most destructive arms, but total arms embargo in Israel. Out of all the countries, I got to tell you, look, no shade to the Spaniards, but I really did not expect this from Spain. Really, really didn't. Something happened. So this really does need to be applauded. The Spanish government approves a total arms embargo on Israel, part of a package of measures aimed at halting what Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez called the genocide in Gaza. The decree prohibits all exports to Israel of defense, material, and dual-use products or technologies. Highlight this. This is very important. When we talk about an arms embargo to Israel, I'm not just talking about weapons. Spain also mentioned the technologies. That is very key. Remember, there is technology that is being used by Israel to help them target civilians in Gaza. So this is big, like for Spain. It also goes on to say, and the import of such equipment to Spain, Economy Minister Carlos Cuerpo says at the news conference. It also blocks requests for the transit of aircraft fuel with potential military applications and bans imports of products originating from Israeli settlements in the West Bank, including their advertising. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what every country should be doing. We are going to drop the beat for Spain. Dance with me. Dance with me. Drop the beat in the street. Woo! Let's give it up for Spain. I don't usually drop the beat so soon, but this is what every country should be doing. Israel, you are in trouble. Now, I say that two things can be true. That's the theme here, right? So here's the thing. It can be true that Italy sending the Navy ship to try to help the Freedom Flotilla, but it could also be true that Italy is trying to deter the Freedom Flotilla in a way, right? That's why they said, give the supplies to us and we'll give them to the Catholic Church and they'll take care of them, right? Spain, on the other hand, is taking an even more bold position, not just sending the warship, but also the arms embargo. We got to pay attention to this, folks. Hey, some of these other countries are like, the US isn't going to do anything. We've had enough. Hey guys, this was a Sabby clip. If you like what you saw, hit that like button and subscribe.